How to find hope in times of crisis. Crisis is an inherent part of human life. It can take various forms: losing a loved one, losing a job, health issues, or relational difficulties. In such moments, it's easy to fall into doubt, fear, or a sense of helplessness. However, the Bible and psychology suggest that even in the toughest times, it's possible to find hope that gives us strength to endure and opens up new perspectives. In the letter to the Romans, Apostle Paul writes, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him." Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. These words remind us that even when we don't understand the purpose of our experiences, we can trust that God is leading us toward good. Hope rooted in God allows us to view a crisis as part of a bigger plan that leads to spiritual growth. The psalmist confesses, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge." Psalm 18, verse 3. In times of crisis, we can find hope by relying on God's presence and promises. God is our strength and refuge, even when everything around us seems to be falling apart. Psychology confirms that hope is a key factor in surviving difficult times. People who believe the future can be better are more resilient to stress and adapt more easily to change. Hope doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but rather being aware that we have the strength within us to face them. How to find hope in practice. First, it's worth turning to God in prayer. Prayer allows us to release the burden of worries and reminds us that we are not alone. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. In His presence, we can find solace and strength for the journey ahead. Second, it's important to seek support from others. A community of believers, family, or friends can be a source of encouragement and help. Apostle Paul encourages us, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ." Galatians, chapter 6, verse 2. Sharing difficulties together allows us to find strength and a sense that we don't have to carry everything alone. Third, it's beneficial to focus on gratitude for what we have, even in difficult times. In the letter to the Thessalonians, Paul writes, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 18. Gratitude opens the heart to see God's blessings and reminds us that even in darkness, we can find light. Fourth, it's worth nurturing a perspective of faith. Jesus says, "In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." John, chapter 16, verse 33. These words remind us that crisis is not the end, and hope in Christ is greater than any difficulties. Hope in times of crisis doesn't mean the absence of pain or suffering, but the awareness that God is with us and guiding us toward something better. As the psalmist says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Psalm 23, verse 4. In this promise, we can find the strength to go through the hardest moments with our heads held high and hearts full of hope. Peace and joy be with you. See you soon. Your friend sends greetings.